Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today we are listening to a singer who I recently discovered on TikTok. Now, I tried really hard to find an interview where I could hear his name being pronounced correctly. I was not successful. So I believe his name is Yoo Hwe Seung. Again, please forgive my pronunciation. He is a member of the group N Flying, and there was a clip of him on stage singing a part of this song, blew me away, so I pulled up the full cover. So that's what we're going to watch and listen to today, but I'll link the other one below. Here we go.
잊지마 우리 헤어질 때 힘들던 그날의 인사를 울지마 부디 행복해져 나의 사랑 안녕 사랑해 내가 더 사랑해 이제 두 번 다시 너에게 해줄 수 없는 말 너만 사랑했던 날 전부였었던 널 아프게 해서 미안해 다시 돌아갈 순 없지만 난 너만 너는 내 가슴에 문신처럼 새겨져 지우려 해봐도 지울 수 없는 내 사랑을
Okay, I'm sorry. That ascending line was what shocked me to my core, and I instantly screenshotted and I was like, okay, who is this person? How do I find them? Is that not incredible? We're going all the way. Actually, we've only got a minute left. We're gonna finish the song and then we'll go back and break it all down.
너만 기다린다 너무 아픈 사랑아 많이 보고 싶다 미안해 난 아직 너를 사랑해 난 너만 기다린다
It's just such a beautiful voice. And mind you, this video is from 4 years ago. So good. And I can only imagine just how much better he's gotten. Okay, so we're obviously going to talk a lot about registration today because his transitions are seamless and he has so much variety, so much breath control. You'll notice there are moments where his face is just so relaxed, and I can't get enough of this. So, back to the beginning. Here we go.
잊지 마 잊지 마 우리
He is he's starting that in the most beautiful mix because it's high enough to where he can't bring all of that force and breath from chest voice up to create this beautiful nuance. So we're getting a lot less air pressure than what we'll hear later on, but it's in that gorgeous mix where it's so beautifully balanced. I couldn't even say, maybe I could. I'm leaning towards like head dominant mix, because of the lightness. But it's so gorgeous. Here we go.
잊지 마 잊지 마 우리 헤어질 때 힘들던 그날의 인사를
So neutral. Everything is so neutral on his face, and we're already getting just a tiny bit of that really steady vibrato. So it's just creating this, it feels so fragile and yet so controlled. Oh, I love it.
울지 마 부디 행복해져 나의 사랑 안녕.
Again, same beautiful, simple, gentle phrasing, but we're getting a little bit more presence, a little bit more air pressure, a little bit more volume.
사랑해 사랑해 내가 더 사랑해.
Let me hear that again. I told you guys, I warned you, we're breaking this down. Gorgeous, gorgeous head voice. I mean, it's so stunning. And one of the reasons I'm definitively saying head voice and not falsetto is because of where this is in his voice. He then instantly flips into a mix in the same range, and it's just, I can't get enough of this.
사랑해 사랑해 내가 더 사랑해 이제 두 번 다시 너에게 해줄 수 없는 말.
We're listening to that note again. I don't talk about this often enough, but when you hear these big, powerful notes that just feel so thrilling, something that you'll notice a lot of great singers doing is they straight tone at the onset of the note at the beginning, and then they allow the vibrato to come through. And so it gives this feeling of suspense, of this thrill, of this, oh my gosh, hold on to your seats. You don't know where it's going, because when you're in straight tone, it lends itself, let me rephrase. When you hear straight tone as an audience member, it's a lot easier for you to imagine either, a note change or a riff coming, something to that effect. So you don't quite know what's coming next. But as soon as you hear the vibrato come in, you can kind of sit back and understand, okay, the singer's gonna settle into this note now. So keeping us on our seats at the beginning of a note and then allowing the vibrato to come through is such a smart choice, and it makes the song sound so thrilling.
이제 두 번 다시 너에게 해줄 수 없는 말. 너만 사랑했던 날 전부였었던 널 아프게 해서 미안해 다시 돌아갈 순 없지만 난 너만 너는 내 가슴에 문신처럼 새겨져 지우려 해봐도 지울 수 없는 내 사랑아.
Take a minute, rewind 10 times just so you can listen to that as much as you want. I can't get enough of that. I want to go back to the beginning of this section if I can find it, because you'll notice while still very full, still very powerful and present, we're getting just a little bit more cut in his sound, a little bit more edge, a little bit more bite. Let me see if I can find it. Now, you'll notice, and I think I remember seeing this in the other live performance that I initially saw of him, he's not afraid to use those cheekbones, like really getting a lot of lift, and then just a little bit more spread. And so everything is just staying so forward and so, it feels so controlled. Like, I have the utmost confidence in what notes are about to come out of his mouth because everything just looks like it's set up so perfectly. That flip into head voice is gorgeous. Okay, maybe one more time. We're gonna talk about this. His breath leading up to this. Let me see if I can. Here we go. So you'll notice he's got these shorter phrases. We're getting a lot of fullness and a lot of power, but he's breathing a little bit more frequently than he did before, which I like because that's helping set up for this huge phrase he's about to sing. Hold on, let me back it up. I was holding my breath while he was doing that. One more time, I promised last time. That was all in a really beautiful mix. I wouldn't say he had to flip entirely over into head voice or falsetto, but you can just hear the tiny little shift in his voice with each note. You could even maybe give some different qualifiers or different descriptive words as to how the sounds change, because it goes to show whenever you're moving through your registers, every note is going to be a little different than the one that came before it, depending on not just the note itself, the vowel you're singing, the sound you're trying to achieve on that note. If you're wanting, if he wanted, he could have flipped easily into falsetto and made it really light and airy. Obviously, that's not what he was going for. So, last time. Oh, here. That right there is the first time I really got a good strong sense of, okay, mix, because the first two I feel were low enough and comfortable enough that he could have had that in chest voice. And then, so we had our mixed note, we had another mixed note that was a little different, and then the top two notes, while still mixed, were a lot more head dominant than the ones that came before. One more time. It's so good. I forgot to mention it during the video, but I really liked his cutoffs as well. It sounded like there were a lot of N sounds at the end of some of these words. Rather than just articulate that N's consonant, it almost sounded like he approached it in a way where he was really singing it. So we got this added beautiful sound at the end of so many of these words, and it helped him create that thrilling, powerful ambiance with the whole song, which I loved. But yeah, it's just, some days I think we all feel this way. Some days the internet is our friend, and other days it's not. But in this case, I'm just so glad that I think the live video that I'll link below, but the one that I initially saw, I think it was maybe from 3 years ago. So to have these incredible pieces of music going viral years later and getting this attention, I love it, because I would have never heard of this singer had I not seen that. So I hope you enjoyed hearing him as much as I did. Thank you guys so much for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.